You ever hear those stories that make you think that could be me?
Yeah, all the time.
This one's about a homeowner,
Oh, okay.
Catherine Graff,
Okay.
who bought a brand new house, and it turns out it was totally riddled with problems.
Oh, wow.
Kind of make you think twice about that dream home idea.
It really does.
Yeah, it really does.
You know what's so striking about Graff's story
What's that?
is that it throws into sharp relief a trap so many homeowners fall into.
Okay.
And that is relying solely on the builder's reputation without doing their own independent verification.
Right.
She bought a house in Saratoga Run,
Okay.
Morganton, North Carolina, back in May 2023.
Okay, so pretty recently.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and things went south almost immediately.
okay, so what happened?
Well-
Did the roof start leaking already?
Actually, it started with something seemingly minor,
Okay.
carpenter ants.
Ants.
Yeah, but for Graff, this was a huge red flag.
Really?
You see, she had a background in construction
Oh, okay.
from working on big projects in Texas.
Interesting.
So she knew that ants often signal underlying structural issues,
Like what?
like water damage.
Oh, so it's like...
Yeah, it's like that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right. So the ants kind of made her think, hang on, something's not right here.
Precisely.
Yeah.
She decided to investigate,
Okay.
starting with the crawl space.
Oh, boy.
And what she found there was pretty unsettling.
Okay, like what?
Think misaligned pillars,
Okay.
but not just slightly off.
Yeah.
The pillars supporting her porch
Oh, no.
were off by inches.
Inches.
Yeah, which could eventually lead to a collapse.
Oh, gosh.
And that's not all.
There's more.
There were visible gaps in the structure,
Oh, jeez.
things that should never have passed inspection in a newly built home.
Wow. That's really scary.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't want to be sitting on that porch.
you and me both.
So what did she do? Did
Yeah.
she try to get the builder to fix it?
She did. She reached out to Timothy Truitt of CMTT Properties and Belmont Builders.
Okay.
The builder, responsible for her home,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of taking responsibility,
What?
he essentially brushed her off.
Oh, no.
And to add insult to injury,
Oh, gosh. This is bad.
he then sent her a lawyer's letter
What?
demanding she stop contacting him.
Oh, wow. So talk about adding stress to an already stressful situation.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that a builder could just dismiss a homeowner like that,
Yeah.
especially with such serious issues at stake.
Exactly.
You would think they would want to make things right.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But this kind of situation exposes a real power imbalance
Mm-hmm.
between homeowners and builders,
Yeah.
especially when things go wrong.
Right.
Homeowners are often left feeling vulnerable
Yeah.
and unsure of what to do next.
So at this point, she's got a brand new house
Mm-hmm.
that could potentially be dangerous.
Right.
A builder who won't talk to her.
Yeah.
And legal threats on top of everything else.
Oh, it's a mess.
So what did she do?
Well, Graff wasn't one to back down.
Good for her.
She decided to file a complaint
Okay.
with the North Carolina Licensing Board of General Contractors,
Oh, okay.
hoping they could investigate
Mm.
and hold the builder accountable.
That seems like the logical next step.
Yeah,
But I imagine these things take time.
exactly.
And meanwhile, she's still living in this potentially unsafe home,
Right.
facing mounting costs and feeling completely helpless.
That's right.
This is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
In an attempt to find some support,
Mm.
Graff also reached out to Burke County officials.
Oh, okay.
You'd think they'd be concerned about the safety of their residents, right?
You would think so.
Especially when the county publicly claims to be an objective third party,
Yeah.
ensuring building codes are followed.
Mm.
However, Graff described their response as anything but helpful.
Oh, wow.
They basically told her they follow NC building codes,
Mm.
and their only role is to ensure compliance with those codes. Passing the buck to the NC General Contractor Licensing Board,
Yeah.
who is already investigating the builder.
Okay.
So the county is saying, hey, we just checked the boxes.
Yeah.
It's not our problem if the builder messes up.
Right.
But here's the kicker.
Okay.
Remember Graff's complaint with the licensing board?
Uh-huh.
While digging into the builder's license,
Okay.
she uncovered something pretty shocking.
Oh, really? What's that? It turns out the builder's license was invalid when construction on her house began.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that.
So they were building a whole house without a valid license.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. And to make matters worse, it seems the county didn't even bother to check the license until 30 days after construction had already started.
That's right.
Wait, so the county, who claims to be all about code compliance, didn't even verify the builder's license before construction started?
Apparently not.
That seems like a major oversight, to say the least.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean, if they miss something that fundamental, what else might they be overlooking?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really casts doubt on their claim of being an objective third party ensuring building codes are met.
Right.
You have to wonder if their delayed license check was a simple mistake or indicative of a larger pattern of lax oversight.
It does make you wonder.
And what about the financial implications of this for Graf?
Right.
It can't be cheap to fix these kinds of problems.
It's a financial nightmare.
Really?
She's already spent about $40,000 of her own savings
Wow.
trying to address some of the issues.
Oh, gosh.
And she's facing potential repair costs of up to $300,000
$300,000?
to make the house truly safe and livable.
Oh, my goodness.
Imagine the stress of knowing that the home you poured your heart and savings into could end up costing you a fortune to fix.
It's heartbreaking, and it's not just a financial strain.
Yeah.
It's the emotional toll as well.
Right.
I mean, she must feel so betrayed and disillusioned.
Absolutely. This situation goes beyond finances. It strikes at the core of security and trust.
Yeah.
Graf poured her retirement savings into this home,
Right, her dream.
only to be met with shoddy work, a dismissive builder, and an unresponsive county.
Oh, man.
It's no wonder she feels devastated and let down by this system that was supposed to protect her.
So she's filed a complaint with the licensing board.
Right.
But as we said, those investigations can drag on.
They can.
And her attempts to get help from the county have been met with bureaucratic roadblocks. So what other options does she have? Can she sue the builder?
That's certainly a possibility,
Oh.
given the circumstances,
Yeah.
especially the invalid license. She might have grounds for a lawsuit based on breach of contract,
Okay.
negligence, or even fraud.
Right.
But legal action is a long and expensive road
Oh, yeah, for sure.
with no guarantee of a favorable outcome.
Right.
It's a gamble many homeowners can't afford to take,
Yeah.
adding another layer of stress and uncertainty to an already difficult situation.
It's a classic David versus Goliath scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
A single homeowner going up against a builder and potentially the county
Right.
with limited resources and no guarantee of justice.
Exactly. And it highlights the need for better consumer protections in the home building industry. We need a system that empowers homeowners, ensures accountability, and offers real avenues for recourse when things go wrong.
Yeah.
We should be leaving individuals to fight these battles alone.
You know, amidst this whole ordeal, what strikes me is Graf's resilience.
I agree.
Despite facing an uphill battle, she's not just fighting for herself.
Yeah.
She's advocating for change.
Right.
Remember her plea to the Burke County officials to do better for their citizens?
Yeah, what about it?
It's a powerful call to action, urging them to prioritize the well-being of homeowners and hold builders accountable.
I think what's fascinating about her plea is that it transcends this specific situation
Okay.
and speaks to a broader issue.
What's that?
Who is ultimately responsible for safeguarding the dream of homeownership?
Right.
Is it solely the homeowner's responsibility?
Right. To, like, navigate the complexities of construction and contracts.
Yeah. Or does the county have a duty to go beyond simply checking boxes and truly protect its residents?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And it makes you wonder how many other Catherine Grafs are out there,
It really does.
silently struggling with similar situations,
Yep.
feeling powerless and unheard.
It's a good point. And that brings us to a crucial point.
Okay.
This isn't an isolated incident.
Right.
Stories like Graf's surface far too often,
Yeah.
shedding light on systemic issues within the home building industry and the need for greater transparency,
Okay.
stronger regulations, and a more proactive approach to protecting homeowners.
Absolutely. It's clear that something needs to change. But what can we do?
Well,
Where do we start?
I think we need to tackle this on multiple fronts.
Okay.
On an individual level, homeowners need to be empowered with knowledge.
Okay, so how can they do that?
That means educating themselves about the home buying process, doing their due diligence, asking tough questions,
Yeah.
and not being afraid to walk away from a deal if something doesn't seem right.
So being proactive and informed is key.
It is.
What about on a broader level?
Yeah.
What can be done to prevent these kinds of situations from arising in the first place?
We need to strengthen building codes,
Okay.
enhance inspector training, and create a more robust system for holding builders accountable.
Okay.
Imagine a system where licenses are easily verifiable,
Okay.
complaints are thoroughly investigated,
Yeah.
and penalties for unethical behavior are significant enough to deter bad actors.
But wouldn't stricter regulations increase the cost of building?
Potentially.
And potentially making homes less affordable?
That's a valid concern, but consider this.
Okay.
The current system,
Mm-hmm.
with its lax oversight and lack of accountability,
Right.
often leads to hidden costs down the line.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Homeowners like Graf end up paying the price,
Right.
both financially and emotionally. When shoddy work and code violations come to light,
That's true.
wouldn't it be better to invest in quality construction up front,
That's a good point.
ensuring safe and durable homes that don't turn into money pits down the road?
Investing in quality construction could ultimately save homeowners money and headaches in the long run.
Exactly.
But it's not just about individual homeowners, is it?
No, it's not.
It's about the community as a whole.
Exactly. Unsafe housing conditions can impact property values,
Right.
neighborhood safety, and the overall well-being of a community.
Absolutely.
So it's in everyone's best interest to advocate for a system that prioritizes quality construction and consumer protection.
You know, thinking about this,
Yeah.
I wonder if there are successful models in other states or countries that we could learn from.
That's a great question.
Are there places where the home building industry operates with greater transparency and accountability, and where homeowners have more robust protections?
That's a fantastic question, and it's one worth exploring. I think there's a lot we can learn from other jurisdictions that have implemented innovative solutions to address these challenges.
Like what?
For instance, some countries have independent consumer protection agencies,
Okay.
specifically dedicated to assisting homeowners and resolving disputes with builders.
That sounds like a promising approach.
I guess, doesn't it?
Having a dedicated agency could provide homeowners with a more level playing field when dealing with powerful builders.
Exactly. And some states have implemented stricter licensing requirement for contractors,
Okay.
coupled with robust continuing education programs to ensure that builders stay up to date with the latest building codes and best practices.
So there are models out there that we can learn from.
There are.
But ultimately, it comes down to political will, doesn't it?
It does.
We need policymakers who are willing to prioritize the interests of homeowners over the influence of powerful lobby groups.
That's a critical point.
Yeah.
Creating a more just and equitable housing market requires political courage and a commitment to putting the well-being of citizens above the profits of special interests.
Right.
It's about demanding accountability, transparency, and a system that truly protects the dream of homeownership.
Speaking of accountability,
Yeah.
what about the county officials in Graf's case?
Okay.
What are the potential consequences for their apparent negligence in verifying the builder's license?
That's a complex question.
Okay.
While the county's actions raise serious concerns about their oversight responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
proving negligence and establishing legal liability can be challenging.
But shouldn't there be some form of accountability for failing to perform such a basic duty as checking a builder's license?
Ideally, yes, but the legal landscape surrounding municipal liability is complex.
Okay.
Often it requires demonstrating a clear breach of duty
Mm-hmm.
and a direct link between that breach and the harm suffered.
It sounds like proving negligence in a case like this can be a legal minefield.
It can be, and that's one of the reasons why advocating for stronger regulations and more robust oversight mechanisms is so important.
It's about creating a system that minimizes the potential for such oversights and provides clearer avenues for accountability when they do occur.
So in a way, pushing for better regulations is a form of preventative action.
It is.
It's about creating a system that discourages negligence and prioritizes the well-being of homeowners.
Precisely. It's about shifting the focus from reacting to problems after they've occurred to preventing them in the first place.
Right.
And that requires a collective effort from homeowners, policymakers, and advocates working together to demand a more just and accountable housing market.
You know, this whole discussion has been really eye-opening.
It has.
We've delved into the complexities of the home building industry,
Yeah.
uncovered potential vulnerabilities, and explored possible solutions.
It's been a good discussion.
What stands out to you most from this deep dive so far?
It's a good question.
What thoughts are swirling around in your mind as we move into the final part of our discussion? Honestly, I'm struck by the power imbalance between homeowners and builders.
Really?
It seems like the deck is often stacked against homeowners,
Yeah.
leaving them vulnerable to exploitation and with limited recourse when things go wrong.
That's a perceptive observation.
Okay.
And it underscores the need for a more equitable system
Yes.
that empowers homeowners, ensures accountability, and provides real protections against bad actors.
Could have said it better myself.
I'm also left wondering about the role of the county.
Go.
Should they be doing more to protect homeowners?
Hmm.
Should their responsibility extend beyond simply enforcing building codes?
That's a crucial question that we'll continue to explore in our final segment.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll delve deeper into the county's role,
Right.
examine potential avenues for accountability, and discuss what steps homeowners can take to protect themselves.
This is a complex issue with no easy answers,
It is.
but it's a conversation we need to keep having.
I agree.
We need to shine a light on these issues,
Yeah.
raise awareness.
And work together to create a housing market that is fair,
Right.
transparent,
Yes.
and accountable to everyone.
I couldn't agree more.
As we've been talking about Catherine Graff's situation, it's become clear that the county's role in all of this is pretty murky.
Yeah, for sure.
On the one hand, they claim to be this neutral party just making sure everyone follows the rules. But on the other, their delayed license check and their response to Graff's concerns raise some serious questions about how committed they really are to protecting homeowners.
You know, it's a tricky balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Counties have to walk a fine line
Yeah.
between enforcing regulations
Right.
and not overstepping their authority. But in cases like Graff's,
Yeah.
where there are clear indications of potential danger,
Right.
and a builder who's unresponsive, shouldn't their duty to protect citizens outweigh a strict adherence to bureaucratic procedure?
It's like they're saying, hey, we checked the box that says verify license.
But we didn't actually do it in a timely manner, so tough luck.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit right.
It certainly raises questions about their priorities,
Yeah.
and it highlights a real gap in the system.
What do you mean?
Well, what are the mechanisms for holding county officials accountable
Right.
when their actions or inaction potentially put homeowners at risk?
Yeah. I suppose there's the legal route.
Okay.
Could Graff sue the county for their negligence?
It's possible.
Okay.
But as we discussed earlier, proving negligence in cases involving municipalities can be incredibly difficult.
Right.
It often requires demonstrating a direct causal link between the county's actions and the harm suffered,
Right.
which can be tricky to establish.
So what can be done? Are homeowners just at the mercy of these bureaucratic systems with little hope of recourse when things go wrong?
I wouldn't say there's no hope,
Okay.
but it certainly highlights the need for a multi-pronged approach.
Like what?
We need stronger regulations at the state level
Okay.
that clearly define the county's responsibilities and establish clear consequences for negligence.
So it's not just about holding individual officials accountable. It's about putting systemic safeguards in place
Exactly.
to prevent these situations from happening in the first place.
That's the goal.
Imagine a system where counties are required to proactively verify licenses before construction begins, conduct more thorough inspections,
Right.
and establish clear protocols for responding to homeowner complaints.
Those are all good ideas.
And maybe there should be a more transparent process for homeowners to file grievances against counties when they feel their concerns haven't been addressed adequately.
That's a great point.
Increased transparency and accountability could go a long way toward empowering homeowners and ensuring that their voices are heard.
I think so too.
But it can't just be about top-down regulations.
Right.
We need a cultural shift as well, right? We need to move away from this mentality of buyer beware and create a system where everyone involved in the home building process, from builders to county officials, is truly invested in the safety and well-being of homeowners.
Absolutely. It's about fostering a sense of shared responsibility
Yeah.
and creating a culture of transparency and accountability. And it starts with raising awareness.
Okay.
The more we talk about these issues,
Yeah.
the more we empower homeowners
Mm-hmm.
and the more pressure we put on those in power to create a fairer system.
So what can our listeners do to contribute to this cultural shift?
Yeah.
How can they make a difference in their own communities?
First and foremost, stay informed.
Okay.
Educate yourself about building codes,
Mm-hmm.
licensing requirements,
Mm-hmm.
and your rights as a homeowner.
Okay. Where can they go to get that information?
There are resources available online
Okay.
through consumer protection agencies
Mm-hmm.
and even at your local library.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
It is.
What else can people do?
Get involved.
Okay.
Attend county council meetings. Voice your concerns
Mm-hmm.
and ask tough questions of your elected officials.
Right.
Support organizations that are advocating for stronger consumer protections in the housing market.
So it's about being an active and engaged citizen,
It is.
not just sitting back and hoping someone else will fix the system.
That's right. And don't underestimate the power of your voice.
Mm-hmm.
When homeowners come together and demand change, those in power are more likely to listen.
Thinking back to Catherine Graff,
Yeah.
it's inspiring to see how she's channeled her personal experience into a call for action.
Yes.
Even though she's facing an incredibly challenging situation,
Yeah.
she's using her voice to advocate for change and protect others from going through the same thing.
It's really admirable.
Her story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, we can choose to be agents of change.
I agree.
We can speak out, raise awareness,
Yeah.
and work together to create a more just and equitable system.
That's what it's all about.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
The dream of homeownership should be attainable for everyone,
Yeah.
but it's a dream that needs to be protected.
Okay.
Don't assume that the system will automatically safeguard your interests. Do your research.
Okay.
Ask questions. Be assertive.
Yeah.
And if you see something that doesn't seem right,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to speak up.
It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a fairer and safer housing market.
We do.
Whether we're homeowners,
Yeah.
renters, or simply concerned citizens, we can all contribute to a system that prioritizes the well-being of everyone.
Like that.
And remember,
Yeah.
this conversation doesn't end here.
That's right.
Continue learning, continue questioning,
Yeah.
and continue advocating for a better future.
It's an ongoing process.
Only through ongoing dialogue and collective action can we ensure that the dream of homeownership is a reality for all.
Couldn't agree more.
This has been a truly thought-provoking deep dive, and we appreciate you joining us on this journey.
Thanks for having me.
We hope this episode has empowered you with knowledge,
Yeah.
inspired you to take action, and left you with the sense of hope that a better future is possible.
Me too.
Until next time, keep exploring,
Yeah.
keep learning, and keep making a difference.
Sounds good.